It's a natural return to the cycle of life. It's the ultimate give back to the earth, a gift that for those of us who have lived a conscious life and, and environmentally friendly lives, this is a perfect place. I highly recommend it. My name is Jennifer Johnson. I'm the burial coordinator here at Greensprings, and we are at Greensprings Natural Cemetery, 293 Irish Hill Road in Newfield. Okay, I get a call. Someone has just died. I either get the call from the family or from the funeral director. Then the funeral director and I will be in contact and we'll plan a date for the burial. And we'll set a time, and I'll have an assistant that comes out and helps, one or two, and we'll get the grave prepared, dig it, and then we put boards down along the side and nail them in so nobody can slip. The funeral director will arrive with usually a van, and we wait for the family to come because family usually likes to participate. And they'll help with taking the casket or the shrouded body out of the van and put it on our cart. Then we'll all walk to the grave together. The pallbearers will take the deceased off of the cart, 3 on each side, and place it over. We have crossboards over the grave. They'll place the body on the crossboards. And then everybody steps back and they have their ceremony, their whatever it is. We've had singers, dancers, people tell stories. There was a guitar player at this one yesterday. We've had Tibetan monks do chanting. The whole burial was silent. We had another burial one time, and the man that we buried really liked coffee and donuts. So his friends brought boxes of donuts and boxes of coffee, and at the end, one of his best buddies poured a cup of coffee down in the grave. I just love that. It's like, this is so real. It's just so beautiful, and people really get to be natural and be themselves. And when they're done, they give me a nod, and then I call for the pallbearers, and they step up and they do the lowering. We call our cemetery traditional. We call the ones that we all grew up with conventional. Well, traditional goes way back. So before the Civil War, that was all traditional burial like we do here. And then the Civil War came and they had to find a way to preserve bodies to get them back up north. And they couldn't do the ice thing because it was too inconvenient. So they started the embalming process, and it's been going on ever since. We don't allow embalming. We don't allow any fancy hardwood caskets from the Amazon rainforest. We have a lot of shrouded burials here, so people aren't using caskets. It seems like the more awareness around green burial, the more people are choosing shrouds. It's like, well, why have a box around me if I could just go in wrapped in some natural fabric? We're just a back to nature cemetery, and in that way you can really give back to the earth and feel good about, and really in that way you can protect this land for a long time, because your body's going to be underground and it's not going to disappear right away, so it's going to be a part of the natural cycle for a long time. We got this vehicle last year because we have a lot of walking space here, and it's not paved. So this we named the West Meadow, and this is the first area that we had surveyed when we opened, well, before we opened, and it goes down to the bottom of the trees, not this row of trees, but on further down. This is about 12 acres. And we sold a lot of burial sites in this area. People love in the fall. Those hills are spectacular. It always will look like this. That is one of our goals, that it'll always just be a beautiful meadow. And we only mow once a year because we have different species of meadow nesting birds that come in. We've got a lot of bobolinks, and we're trying to get the meadow lark back. It left because there weren't enough open meadows. But we've got an area over there that we've cleared some trees out. We actually got a grant to do that, and we're nature preserve. So they gave us a grant to open up that meadow and encourage the meadowlark to come back. We're creating habitat for animals and insects and birds, and it's a beautiful thing. Each person buried here will be buried knowing that they'll be helping the earth long after they've gone. That's really important to a lot of people. That what if you could, after you died, what if you could still be helping the earth? It's a lot more obvious in the wintertime because you can see the mounds at their different states. But right now, with it all grown up with the goldenrod and the asters and everything, you can barely see graves. It's really neat in the spring and early summer because it really is true about pushing up daisies. You'll see areas where there's just the mound size of daisies. And now I know where that saying came from.
Is that really where your mother's buried?
That's my mom. Yep, that's where she's buried. We buried her a year ago this past July. She died the end of June. And she was one of the first people to buy a site here in '06 when I told her what we were doing. Yes, I want that. So I always come by and say hi. So this is the burial that we did yesterday, and this is the gentleman that was from Bloomington, Indiana. There were about 40 people attending, and this is the ash grove here. And one of the family members had come out a couple of days before to decide where they wanted to pick the site. And this fellow was such an avid birder, and I told him that in the springtime, the woodcocks do their spiraling mating dance out of this stand of trees. And they really like that. So you can see he's as close as he could possibly be. It was just, they talked about him, and it was perfect. It's perfect, and that's what a lot of people say that bury a family member up here. Maybe they like to hunt, or they were, she was an outdoors person, and that's what everybody up here has in common, their love of nature and respect for nature. I know from my mom, I've done so many burials since 2008. That's when I became the burial coordinator here, March of 2008. And it's not until I buried my mom, somebody that I really knew and loved, that I got the total feeling about it. You can come up here and you can see the place, and you can have the experience of being out here in the nature and the quiet. And then when you put someone to rest that you know and love, it's just so much more powerful.
So do you have a site here?
I sure do, right next to my mom. Yep. I just love that thought, I love that I can give back something to this beautiful planet that I've lived on for however many years it is at the time of my death, and had such joyous times, and the nature is really important to me. So to do something for nature to help restore this land to better wildlife habitat is also really important. Feels good.